Hi everyone, the Peculiar Pisces here. I've got another nail polish video for you guys. This one is from Supermoon Lacquer, and I'm super duper excited about this because it's Sailor Moon themed. As you can see, I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan. That's why you get meatball head hair today. Facebook knows that I am such a Sailor Moon fan that they're constantly giving me ads and stuff, and when it comes to Sailor Moon, I cannot say no. I bought these earrings, I bought necklaces, I've even bought Lego blocks of Sailor Moon and the girls. Okay, that's how much I love Sailor Moon. I've also bought shoes. My girl Jupiter is my absolute favorite. We both have brown hair and green eyes, so sorry. Plane flying overhead. That's one of the downsides to living on base. Anyway, Sailor Jupiter is my girl. We both have brown hair, green eyes. Perfect. So, Supermoon Lacquer did a Sailor Moon themed special. Now I actually have opened up the bag to make this a little bit easier because Marty, the owner, closes her nail polish like she's the Hulk. So I wanted to go through and open things before doing the video. So here is the information for Marty. She's the Howling Boutique, and her nail polish line is specifically called Supermoon Lacquer. So, funny story with that. When I joined, first I joined Acetone Alley, and from Acetone Alley I got turned on to the Polish Pickup, which you've seen some of my videos from stuff that I've gotten from there. But in Acetone Alley, as I was lurking, because that's what I do, I kept noticing Marty, and she kept saying really funny things. Like, Marty is me if I had the guts to say half of the stuff. And she's like the queen of memes. Or gifs, since that's like the new thing. And then I noticed that somebody referred to her as a maker. So I was like, oh, well, I really want to check out her stuff. But I never really had the guts to say, hey, what's your brand? Because everybody seemed to already know, and I didn't want to be like, aha, you're a newbie kind of deal. So I just kept lurking and hoping that it would come up. And then somebody had mentioned that there was a post that had all the makers, like there was their logo and whatever. So I was like, okay, it shouldn't be that hard to find her, but there was no name associated with the logo, just the logo, and then it went to the page. And after a couple of clicks, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna find her. So I started scrolling through, and Supermoon Lacquer caught my eye simply because it was so close to Sailor Moon. So I clicked on it, and then once I got there, I realized that was actually Marty's group. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I joined her Facebook page for the Howling Boutique, and started lurking, saw the things that she was putting out, and then I saw that she was putting out a Sailor Guardians line, and I thought, oh man, this is awesome. So I guess she was originally supposed to do it earlier in the year, and then something happened and she wasn't able to, and then she was going to release them in September, and then she had an issue with the bottle maker, or where she was getting her bottles from. And so she had to postpone it, and she was going to be my very first indie polish purchase. But then when she had to postpone it, I ended up buying from the Polish Pickup pack. So then she was technically my second, but because the Polish Pickup pack is a whole bunch of makers all in one place, you know, she wasn't really my second, if you know what I mean. But I still think of her as my second. And I have been so excited waiting for this to happen. And I actually got this on Monday, and I didn't want to ruin the manicure that I had on, which happened to be one of Marty's. It was her November polish pickup pack contribution, which was Are You Down with MLP? My Little Pony, and the color just reminds me of Rainbow Dash. That I will always and forever call that nail polish Rainbow Dash. So anyway, let me show you the nail polishes, and then there's 10 polishes, and I've got 10 fingers. So the first one is, this is Sailor Moon. It is called Rainbow Moon Heartache, which is Sailor Moon's strongest attack. It is a lovely kind of pewter gray, which at first I was a little confused on, but once I see it now, you know, this is the moon. This is what I think the moon would look like if, you know, I were to ever fly up there. So this is Sailor Moon. So then we've got Aqua Rhapsody. It is a beautiful, vibrant shade of blue. And I'm outside, and I don't really think that you can see all the shimmers on this camera. But this is Sailor Mercury. This is Mars Flame Sniper. It is a really pretty, like burgundy deep kind of red color with some sparkles. This is Jupiter's Oak Evolution. And like I said, this right here is my favorite. Not just because it's Sailor Jupiter, but because it's green. Green and purple are my two favorite colors. Now, when Marty did this, she did it as a pre-order first. And so those of us that were in the group ahead of time, we were able to get the pre-order. And it was a little bit cheaper than what she was regularly retailing it for. This is Love and Beauty Shock, and this is Sailor Venus. So you could get the whole set, which is what I got, all 10, or you could get them in groups of 5. She had the inners and then she had the outers, or you could get them individually in case you didn't want to get all the other ones. This is Twinkle Yell, which is Sailor Chibi Moon. If you're used to the North American dub, that was Reenie. Then, okay. This is Space Sword Blaster. This is Sailor Uranus, because that's how they pronounced it on the show. It is a deep, deep blue. Next is Submarine Reflection, which is Sailor Neptune. This one, so Jupiter Oak Evolution from the inner, I was really excited for. And then for the outers, I was excited for Submarine Reflection, and then these next two. This one is Dead Scream, and it's Sailor Pluto. The North American dub, I think they just did Pluto Deadly Scream. And then this last one is called Silence Glaive Surprise, and it's Sailor Saturn. So I told my mom before I bought anything, I said, if I can't afford the whole collection, I want Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn, because I just love these. This is a deep, deep purple. All right. So now we're going to get to the fun part. So I'm actually going to put them on in order that they became Sailor Scouts, because that's how I roll. If you notice, that was the order that I introduced them. So, and like I said, I pre-opened all of these because Marty closes these lids like she's the Hulk. And I had to get a second husband to open up these nail polishes. Now, I told you before a little bit about her Novembers, which was the My Little Pony themed nail polish. That nail polish was a one coat and you could have been done. And so far, I think that's how this Sailor Moon one is. So this is that nice pewter gray. I could get away with just doing one coat and being happy with that. So next up is Sailor Mercury. Now, if you're noticing, I'm painting my right hand first because I am left-handed. It's just easier for me to do that side first. Okay, so after this is over, when I take this polish off, I will probably be rocking my Sailor Jupiter so here's Mercury's Aqua Rhapsody. Again, I could probably get away with one coat, although in this lighting right here, I can kind of see that my fingernail tip is lighter than the rest, so I would probably go for a second coat with this, but if you're in a hurry, one coat and done. Next is Mars Flame Sniper. Now, I'm usually not a red nail polish kind of girl, but this one I could see, you know, going out somewhere fancy with a wine colored dress. This would, you know, look nice with it. Okay. So I've noticed as a teenager, I was really great at painting my nails. As an adult, my nail polish game has totally slipped because I am messy. I get things all around the sides. I get things all up on my cuticles. So I bought myself a liquid adhesive nail tape because I am so messy with it. And occasionally I do the nail stamping too, so it, you know, it works out. But, you know, I just put the nail tape on for regular polishing. So here's Jupiter. Still, all of these so far have still been you know, I could get away with doing one coat. You have no idea how excited I am that I've got this collection. With my love of all things Sailor Moon. This was such a fun collection. And a good way for Marty to take all my money. So here's Venus. Now this one is, I mean, it's still a one coat and done nail polish. But it's definitely a lighter color. So here are the 5 inners: Sailor Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus. And, you know, I could actually find uses for all of these polishes with the exception of Venus. Orange is a hard color to pair up with anything. So now on to the outers. I fell in love with Sailor Moon a really long time ago. There was one time that Fox played one episode on a Saturday morning cartoon. It was on at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And for whatever reason, I was up. Here's Sailor Mini Moon. It's a cute little bubblegum pink kind of color, which matches her hair color. Anyway, for whatever reason, I was up that early in the morning, and it came on, and I watched it, and it was actually the very first episode that I ever saw was one with the season with Alan and Anne. And I think it was actually the very first episode that I saw on Fox. And the following week, I set an alarm clock, because I was in about 4th or 5th grade then. I set an alarm clock and got up to watch it, and it wasn't on. Didn't find it. But, you know, it was always in the back of my mind. Here's Sailor Uranus. It's a deep blue. I'm getting kind of like a weird glare, so let me shift this a little bit. This looks so much better than what I can see on the video. Anyway, a few years later when I was in middle school, I was getting ready for school, and I was watching UPN, and UPN showed a commercial that they were going to start showing it. And I got really excited because I was like, oh, that's that cartoon that I remember that I only ever saw one episode of. And so I started watching Sailor Moon on UPN in the mornings before going to school. I actually would get up extra early so that I could get my shower and watch Sailor Moon, and then, you know, get dressed while I was watching Sailor Moon. So here's Neptune. This is such a beautiful teal kind of aqua color. I love it. And anyway, so I used to watch it for years, and then UPN stopped showing it and you know, then it wasn't on for a while, and then Cartoon Network picked it up with Toonami, and they even started showing later episodes with Neptune and Uranus. They never got as far as the Sailor Stars, probably because of the whole while they're in their human form, they're boys, and when they transform, they're girls. So this is a deep burgundy. My mom likened it to like a dark cherry kind of color. And as you can see, I got my messy all over the place. Anyway, Toonami showed Sailor Moon for years, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside. My husband and I, when we were in Japan for 3 years, I was really excited, and I went crazy looking for any sort of Sailor Moon merchandise while we were in Japan. And you know what? Couldn't find it. Could not find Sailor Moon except at like old secondhand stores. And then that stuff was ridiculously expensive. So right before we were getting ready to leave, they announced that for the 20th anniversary, they were going to bring back Sailor Moon. It was going to be called Sailor Moon Crystal, and it was going to be based heavily on the manga. Here is Saturn. And so while we were there, it was supposed to come out the summer before we left, and I was really excited because I was like, that means we're going to get Sailor Moon stuff. Didn't happen. They postponed it until after Christmas, and we were leaving right before Christmas. And then it didn't come out, and then it was still another like year before the new cartoon came out. So here's the 5 outers, the 5 inners, and that's my Sailor Moon collection of nail polishes, which I absolutely love. And Marty did such an amazing job of capturing the colors of the girls, the essences, everything. So I'm very pleased with this. Very pleased. No receipt, but there was a note thanking. There was also an application tips. And then there was information on the base ingredients, stuff that it may contain, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that is my Supermoon Lacquer 10 nail polish, Sailor Moon themed. Because, you know, who better than me to do this because of my love for Sailor Moon and the girls. So thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you guys next time.